kind of bizarre situation. It took 3 months until a few more threads were made on his accounts, this time on the much more fitting Internet Mystery subreddit, focusing mainly on the truth_sticks account and another one called Stephanie Schooling. The original poster speculates that AI may have been employed in the creation of these pictures, but to me, it just looks like regular editing, partly because of the way they're morphed, and partly because of how specific and minute the details are, presumably to cater to David's fetishes. As people point out in the comment section, these pictures, including the ones of children in vulnerable positions, are of real children, even if they're extremely edited. What's even more dangerous is that some people claimed he himself had been interacting with real kids on Instagram. At the time, a lot of people didn't know what to make of David's posts. There was a decent amount of talk about the possibility that the person behind all of these posts could just be mentally challenged to the point that they have no idea how inappropriate and bizarre all of this is. But further examination of the account's history made it clear that David was well aware of what he was doing. One of the earliest posts from the Truthsticks account reads as follows: "Beware that the man pretending to be a boy is trying to lure boys to ask him to look at his supposed passport. There is no real boy on any of the Predator's pages. It is all fake. Passport is sometimes code used by pedophiles to indicate links to Links Mega or Mega Links pedo pages. But his most disturbing lust is for boys, and he spends hours and hours following real boys, trying to attract boys from their time zones. Beware, avoid." Here, we see David basically projecting his own behavior onto someone else's account, showing that he knows what he's doing is wrong. While this page and even archives of it have been completely wiped, most likely due to the content involving pictures of real kids, some remnants of it have been re-uploaded. And apparently, the account did indeed start out with David in his kid voice, calling out these other Indian and Middle Eastern accounts, accusing them of being predators.
So that's the account run by a man pretending to be a boy.
So not only does he know what a predator is, he has multiple posts accusing other people of doing exactly what he's doing, pretending to be a little kid online. In fact,
Yo, what's up, Nang? How you doing? How's it going?
he spent the majority of his earlier posts describing himself to a T. For a staggering 20 hours without stopping, he recently followed and then unfollowed genuine boys. They tell us that they notice something wrong with
What's up, user TY3BX9PI2V? How you doing? Everybody like and subscribe. Hit the notification. We're so close to 1,700 subs. Whoa! Did the moist critical dance. Yes.
with the man pretending to be a boy. And then the man pretending to be a boy then makes more approaches, timing it with after school hours of 3:30 to 4:30, hoping to attract boys. And then all evening and all night. Once aroused, he deceives. It is a full-time sickness. Pedophilia is a joke to him. And when people ask him about his many aliases, he says it is an aunt, cousin, or friend.
You will like and sub. Thank you so much, Ning. Appreciate that. If you subscribe, then we're like 3 away from 1,700. So close, guys. So close.
But they don't exist. It is all him. Does he wash? No. Does he wish he were a young boy in a school classroom looking nice and being successful at school? Yes. Blocked and blocked again by children, including a Russian boy aged 12. Annoyed when parents intervene, when he thought he could engage with a child. Annoyed when the conversation stopped. Annoyed when he is blocked. Obsessions with scantily clad young boys, photographed from behind, and spanking them as a sick fetish. Be aware of predators pretending to be young boys online, and asking real boys if they're hungry, and pretending to be delivering free food. They don't need to know a child's address. The predators appear kind, asking if the the child could collect a meal from a vehicle parked nearby. I apologize for reading that entire thing, but I think you guys do need to understand just how crazy this guy is. Even if David had found actual Predator accounts and was pointing them out here, there's just no way he has that much information on all of them. It's much more likely he's simply soft telling on himself with these stories. Eventually, this page transitions to just LARPing about being a young boy at school. Likewise, some of his other Instagram pages, such as mile.s95, Stephanie Schooley, and Stephanie Stansfield all revolve around the same concepts, just with different children, much of which has to be censored here, either because it includes inappropriate imagery or photos of real kids. As far as I could tell,
Yo, you got 4 like you. Got 3 likes on the stream. It's pretty good. Not 4 though. One more. One more and it'll be 4.
the oldest one was Stephanie Stansfield, which dated all the way back to 2019 and had its first post about how small a schoolgirl skirt was as she was going to pick up her pencil case. There was also a Twitter account of the same name, which was also created in 2019, containing a lot of similar.
Japanese. Are you Japanese? I like Japanese food. It's so good. Oh my gosh. English or Spanish? ¿Qué pasó? ¿Qué pasó, Bubba Campbell? How you doing? Bro is 18. Happy birthday. Is that for me? Thank you. It was like a week ago, but yeah. Yes. What's the situation there? What do you mean situation? How you doing, Toby? What situation? Bro, 13 people is watching you. 13 people were watching me. Now it's just one. Now it's just you, Ning. Just me and you and me. So happy together. Ugh. Nice to meet. I need to go. Okay, bye bye. Hi, Cynthia. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Bye, Ning. Six, 7. Imagine me. I did. I think about you day and night. It's only right. Think about the girl you love. Only right. So happy together. What's up, Cynthia? How you doing? What's up?
Similar posts about poetry, but it's now private. However disturbing a lot of his posts were, perhaps the most terrifying of all of them is this one uploaded from his Miles account, where he seems to be chasing a kid.
Oh!
Now, of course, there's a chance this video is not what it seems, but it does seem like David was chasing after a small child, which is an absolute nightmare to even consider. Another account that was eventually connected to David was the same in which his name was revealed, Lyricist David, which has been archived on TikTok, along with the music that he uploaded. And I use the word music here extremely loosely. There were plenty of other alt accounts with varying content, but the ones I mentioned so far were the primary core of his online activity that was being combed through at this early stage. Although this story hadn't really reached its peak in notoriety quite yet, it got big enough on Reddit that many Redditors thought it was a good idea to try and contact David. In what we can understand as a response, he posted to his Instagram stories saying this: "Ignore jealous comments from people. I think they wish they could wear my school uniform, my mini boots I wear to school. Some seem to think that just because I've grown so quickly in school year 5, they comment as if they know me or am in their age group. It happens to loads of other children. School is nice." Fortunately, Redditors reacted appropriately to this development, asking people to not interact with his account. Others even made the apt observation that, regardless of intention, to engage directly with David is to play into his fantasy. One odd artifact from this early period of discovery is that a thread was made on an account called Smart Schoolboy 6, which allegedly had actual explicit illegal material involving children, heavily covered in filters and stickers. I don't know if this is true or not, or even if the creator of this specific account is Dave.
Waterfalling off your skin, swim. I could spend a lifetime watching you swim. This is how it all begins. Swim. Yes, sir. You already know this is based on a true story. A story of how I shit my pants in real life. Among Us. Yes, shit my pants. I shitted in my pants. Yes, I shitted in my pants. And for real, never meant to make my booty shit. I apologize. I shit my pants. I shitted in my pants. And for real, never meant to make my booty shit. I apologize. I shit my pants. I'm gonna go to the bathroom because I shit my pants. I'm gonna put down my pants and I'm not gonna fight because I can't. I feel the diarrhea spreading down my legs, going through my toenails. That's why people say I sound like I'm made. People only talk because they don't know the pain of shitting your pants, diarrhea going through your leg. I don't want to wipe my ass no more. It's too late. The diarrhea already got to my knee and my leg. What the fuck? I should fit in my pants. And for real, never meant to make my booty shit. I apologize. I shit my pants. I should sit in my pants. And for real, never meant to make my booty shit.
Y'all behave. I get a shiner and a
Just when I thought I got
him to fall in love with Tennessee. I should have known better than to take him back to Abilene. Put it up in his face. There's nothing I can do. It doesn't take a crystal ball to see. Tell. You know, forgot about the Smoky Mountain rain. The Mohair tunes, the Memphis blues, we ain't to shine. Wait, known better than to take him back to Abilene. She's from Texas, I can tell by the way he's two-stepping round the room. Judging by the smile that's written on his face, the way to leave, drinking Jack all by myself. He's choosing Texas, I can tell. Well, I guess he forgot about the Smoky Mountain rain. The Mohair tunes, the Memphis blues we used to sing. He always loved Amarillo by morning. I should have taken that as a warning. She's from Texas, I can tell by the way he's two-stepping round the room. Judging by the smile that's written on his face, there's nothing I can do.
Hey, what's up, Florida? How you doing?
It doesn't take a crit.
IBK, how you doing?
A cowboy always finds a way to leave, drinking Jack all by myself. He's choosing Texas, I can tell. When I'm eastbound down and I can't help but cry, 'cause I 40 gets lonelier with every mile. I'm
My name is
never gonna change, 'cause his heart still belongs to the Lone Star State. She's from Texas, I can tell by the way he's two-stepping round the room. And judging by the smile that's written on his face, there's nothing I can do. Oh, yeah, it doesn't take a crystal ball to see. A cowboy always finds a way to leave, drinking Jack all by myself. He's choosing Texas, I can tell. No, drinking Jack all by myself. He's choosing Texas, I can tell. Come on, baby. Oh, just when I thought I'd fallen, can I stay?
what's up, Notbot? How you doing?
It's like we're making up for lost time. You spell it out for me. What's to know for all? It's like a type of alchemy. Introduce me to your best friend. I can come stop right in. A satellite ain't even that far. I kinda wonder where you are. Already know I can leave it all. Already gave you the time and the place, so don't be shy. Just come be the man I need. Tell me you got something to share. I want. I kinda like it when you call. one. Oh, whatever the type of talking is, come on. I gotta know you're meant to be the man I need. Talk to me, talk to me, talk to me, talk to me. Be the man that I need, baby. Talk to me, talk to me. Be the man that I need. Talk to me, talk to me.
David, but it's worth mentioning nonetheless. Based solely on what had been posted so far, it was pretty easy to figure out that David was British, mixed race, and of course, much older than he claimed to be. Although how old exactly was still unknown. In order to try and gather more information on him and pull together findings, an entire subreddit was created, although in the time since then it's been banned due to too many people crossing the line from sleuthing to harassment. As the topic is already getting a lot of traction on TikTok, one of the first people who made a thread about David came back to make an announcement. Because when I stopped trying to contact him, although nobody can stop you from commenting on his posts, it's really not adding anything beneficial and will probably result in him destroying the accounts and breaking his hard drives with the amount of attention he knows he's getting. The police are working on the case. They have not provided any updates besides the fact that they are taking it seriously. Yes, they are all one account owned by the same guy. There are many more accounts that the Discord have discovered. One has been taken down and had explicit mention of smart schoolboy's fetish for children. There are archives of every account on the Discord. There is 13 total accounts across social media we have found. Discord is closed for the time being because of leakers. Although the information was not too solid yet, this user also claimed that David had
Do I have Twitch or Discord? Yeah, both of them. Why?
been doing this since the 1980s and was now over 50 years old. Unfortunately, it seems that the online community that began to crop up around the investigation into David instantly cannibalized itself before it could do anything productive. And a lot of their findings were scattered across multiple different subreddits and Discord servers, most of which are now simply gone from the internet. But the topic was now big enough that YouTubers began to cover it. The first video was from August 7th of 2024 from a channel called As Far as the Corners. This was followed a few weeks later by Tuv, Nick Crowley, and Nexpo, whose videos, when put together, amassed over 18 million views, sending the already viral topic of Smart Schoolboy 9 into the stratosphere. As you can imagine, all of this attention put the hysterics on overdrive, and a lot of false or bad information on the case started spreading. But one good side effect was that if there was any chance David could contact a kid who had no idea who he was, that chance was now long gone, because he was famous. Shortly after all of the big YouTube videos came out, something unexpected happened. One of the people whose photos David edited for one of his alt accounts, Joanne Tang, came forward. After recognizing herself in these bizarre edits on David's accounts, Camille posted to Reddit saying this: "Hi, I have only now just been made aware of this Smart Schoolboy 9 situation. My name is Camille, and this man has used photos of me from when I was 15 years old and used them to create an alias called Joanna Tang. If anyone has any evidence, please message me on Instagram or TikTok. I will be reporting this information to the police for identity theft as well as pedophilic and child pornographic intent, and I could use as much evidence as possible. Thank you." She eventually posted a video to her TikTok explaining the situation, and based on this, it seems she tried to cooperate with the people online following the case. However, most likely because of how ineffective the laws on this stuff in the United Kingdom are, and how downright stupid a lot of the people involved with the Reddit investigation were, it doesn't seem like she made any headway. Her Instagram has since been taken down, or it changed handles, and her TikTok account has gone private. Besides Camille, another unexpected source on Smart Schoolboy 9 was none other than David Firth, the creator of Salad Fingers, who was asked over DMs as to whether he had ever heard of or seen David. He replied saying this: "I think I remember him walking around town in the late 90s or early 2000s when I was at Hall Cross School. He never approached me though. If we're talking about the same person, he was a dark-skinned guy who would wear really sloppily applied makeup. Like just a bunch of white and red makeup or face paint. Like it was just smeared across his face. I remember him wearing a white shirt and a school tie and having a strange posture, or walking quite leaned forwards. He was tall and walked very fast. He seemed startled, looking all around, very paranoid. I'd say
I'm so locked in. You have no idea. Like genuinely, I am like so. I just want to figure out because this video here gives so much more. Like this is like the aftermath. So I'm like learning so much more about like what happened after that. Because bro, what is it's going on like 2 years now since it went viral, man. And like the dude definitely got CP. So that's why when you guys be saying like, oh, Janino, you just do a catch in the UK, but the UK sucks, bro.
1999 to 2001. When presented with a more current image of David, he added this. His makeup has gotten neater. At the time, there was a rumor that the nearby mental hospital closed down, and they released everyone onto the streets because he was just one of many crazed people on the streets of Doncaster. Unfortunately, David was then subject to the same kind of obsessive and unproductive harassment from random people online, which prompted him to make a long series of tweets about it. Please stop asking me about Smart Schoolboy 9. I replied to a DM a few weeks ago asking if I remembered this guy who would walk around Doncaster dressed as a schoolboy with weird makeup on. Yes, I walked past him in the town center 20 to 25 years ago. I walked past him. That's all. Now I see posts and videos saying he has something to do with the creator of Salad Fingers. No, he doesn't. He was just your local lunatic. I was a teenager at the time. I only remembered because his appearance was striking. Now my DMs are full of TikTok detectives. I never heard him talk or knew what he was up to or interacted with him in any way. He didn't say anything to me. Salad Fingers is not based on him. Please stop asking for information. I have said everything I remember. As far as the efforts of people who were trying to contact Smart Schoolboy 9 directly, unsurprisingly, there was no significant success, as he would just accuse them of being predators trying to talk to a kid. The kid here being him. After all of this trouble, the videos with millions of views, everybody online talking about it for a week, it seems like there would be no payoff, no meaningful information acquired on possibly the highest profile online creep in recent history. Fortunately, after all that was said and done, all of the information that was disseminated through tons of Discord servers and other online communities was archived and kept in one place. Kiwi Farms. After he became well known online, but especially after Nick Crowley's video popped off, everyone who had ever personally witnessed David in real life began to come forward. Due to most of them not knowing what his actual name was, many referred to him as Clown Monkey Man. This is because he apparently dressed up as a flying monkey from The Wizard of Oz. One part of the story that remains consistent
Hey,
across
what's up,
many
Bobby?
accounts of his behavior is that he would walk around town in strange outfits, doing a high-pitched voice, staring at people, and trying to talk to kids. But what differed were the outfits and the circumstances. Sometimes he would dress up as a teacher. Other times he would do his regular schoolboy routine while trying to show children his lunchbox. In comments posted on a variety of different platforms, people slowly tried to put together the full picture of who David was. He was allegedly driven out of Doncaster for being a pedo. He had printed out photos on his walls of naked adults, but with children's faces stuck over them. Every single thing matches up. I am adamant it's him. Around 20 years ago, he was arrested when they raided his home. He had loads of pictures plastered on his walls from local dance schools. My girlfriend at the time was in one of the pictures, and they had to interview her to see if she had seen him around. I also heard a story of him hanging around schools, telling children he was writing a book and wanted them to help. My wife says he went to jail for stalking a girl from Hall Cross School. Said he was researching for a book he was writing called The Spirituality of Girls. I used to work at the court 20 years ago, and he was in court in the paper several times for approaching and writing to underage girls while wearing that makeup and young girl style clothing. He usually got away without conviction because the courts believed he didn't intend to do anything wrong. He was trying to speak to those girls because he wholeheartedly believed he was a girl of that age. He used to live with his OAP mom in the periphery of the town center, so he was always outside Hall Cross. OAP in this comment refers to an old age pensioner, meaning his mom was elderly and received money from the government to provide for herself and her kid, being David. Another comment read as follows. I remember this guy. Lived on the same street as him growing up. My brother ended up almost smacking him for following me and my sister up the street, making harassing comments. He was in his mid-40s when he was living on my old street. I'd be inclined to believe he was mid-50s like the other commenters. I worked at the local supermarket during Christmas when in college and served him. He stank and had the strangest voice, obviously put on but really unnerving. I will say the police have known about him for a long time, and when he was doing what he was doing in public, they were not concerned. concerned. They were more concerned for his safety than they were what he was doing. These comments paint a picture of David ultimately not being taken seriously by any of the community around him. While the way he dressed and the way he talked was definitely disturbing, ultimately, as far as they knew, he wasn't physically hurting anyone, so there wasn't much the police or the average citizen could do about it. A few other comments also comment on his physical appearance, although reports differ slightly. Real school kids terrorized him for years. He actually has vitiligo on his face and body. For the unaware, vitiligo is a medical condition where the skin loses color. Michael Jackson famously had this before his death if you need a visual aid. It's possible that David does have vitiligo, and we simply can't tell because he wears makeup in most of the images we've seen. On the other hand, it's unclear if this is truly the case, as someone else stated this: "I do remember him. Thought he was a burn victim." Meanwhile, a shop worker from Doncaster shared their experience. "I used to serve him in Sainsbury's. He once came to the cigarette counter, asking for cigs, then said, 'You naughty lady,' selling cigarettes to a schoolboy. Then one of the lads working there was staring at him. He started chasing him down, shouting, 'Stop staring at me. I'm only a schoolboy.'" Someone else on Facebook said, "Wow, I have not seen or heard about him since I was a teen. He used to follow me all the time." Now, one of the earlier posts I read claimed that David had been arrested some 20 years ago. And while all of the other posts here did contain a lot of new information regarding David's past, they lacked the finer details to identify what happened with his legal situation. But there were two other posts with a bit more information on him. One of them was from a Brazilian immigrant who claimed that David
Yeah, bro. Frank, man, I feel like I'm watching like a movie. Oh my gosh, bro. I want to get into the part. Like, I hope they found out who this dude is.
lived near a playground and was much smarter than he appeared. He states that David even has a college degree and only started doing the schoolboy routine
Hey Siri.